Hey guys, it's Pierre again coming at you today with episode number 44. Oh my gosh, we're getting close to that 50 episodes, in 50 days, right? And the goal, of course, is 100 in 100 days. So I'm always at the halfway point, almost. But you know what? This is to encourage you because consistency is what's going to bring results. And I don't know how many of you are here. And of course, if you're following me, go ahead, like and subscribe. And if you're not, on this channel, at the very least, it's time for you to tune in and find out more about what we do here. And as always, in the description below, you'll find out more about what's going on with the masterclass that I'm offering and the upcoming book, the Kingdom book that I'm actually writing, because there's so much and so many stories to tell around this. So anyway, in the last episode, we started talking about the laws of the kingdom. And today I want to bring you in this episode quickly the law of faith. And really, I want to talk about some laws that govern faith. And why is faith is so important? Why is it that it's the first law that I love to quickly jump on? There's a very simple reason. And it is the fact that faith is what's going to cause God's power to be released. You see, God has already blessed us with all blessings in spiritual places. All spiritual blessings have already been given to you. Ephesians 1:3. And also think about it. If you're talking about God is going to do something, he has already given his best, his son Jesus, for you. And so much so that by his stripes you were healed. Healing has been provided already. And even salvation. He so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, right? So now it's up to you to receive. It's up to you to literally take what he has already provided by grace. And this is where faith comes in. And faith is one of those laws that it releases God's power, but there is a switch to faith, right? There is a way to release it, just like anything else. Like right now I'm standing and there's at least 2 lights around me that are on, right? And these lights, there's a switch to turn them on. If I don't turn the switch on, they're not doing anything. Right? Even though they're in the proper position. And think about it. I can take a light bulb and hold it in my hand and tell you I'm going to turn it on. Yeah, I might use some trick of static electricity and cause it to dimmer, and literally, but that's not the same thing as it being bright when it's connected to its source of power, properly connected. But even when it's properly connected, we now have to flip the switch. So with faith, quickly, what is the switch for faith? And this is where most people miss it. They'll pray, oh, God, do this, God, do that. But there's no faith in simply saying, God, do this, because what did Jesus teach us? Again, go back to the last episode. He spoke to things. And from the very beginning in Genesis, God spoke to things and things were created, right? Remember that word dabar in the Hebrew, which means thing, but also means word. So the word made flesh. The word became flesh, the bar, right? So again, this is so important for you because you need to recognize that God has given you authority on the earth, but that authority cannot be released until somebody speaks it. And that, by the way, is the switch. But the switch has to be connected to where? The heart, the man's spirit and his soul. And this is why in Proverbs 4:23, it says, keep your heart with all diligence. Protect your heart, your spirit, man. Protect your soul, right? Because there are things coming from the outside that are coming in to attack your soul. And you need to protect your soul. And I would love to go so much more into this, but I'm going to talk about other laws. But quickly, your words, Proverbs 18:21. Remember, this is almost kind of like a review for you, right? And your tongue is releasing life and death. And you can say, oh, I only want to release life. Well, Jesus released death when he spoke to that fig tree. Don't be afraid to speak to things that ought not be in your life. You need to open your mouth and speak to disease, sickness, poverty, all those things. You need to open your mouth and speak to them. And you need to speak death to those things because they don't belong. It's not your portion. They don't belong to you, right? So in that same fashion, I'm telling you, your faith, when you release your faith out of your mouth, having believed, right? And this is one of those laws of faith. You will have what you say. you will certainly have what you're saying. You say, well, are you telling me everything I've said so far, I should have it? Well, I've declared a house, a car, a boat, and all these things. I haven't seen them. Well, there's a reason. Remember, protecting your heart with all diligence. So quickly, the reason people are not seeing manifestation is because they have gotten used to lying to themselves, using this mouth the wrong way, releasing power and they were not supposed to release it. Think about it. People say so many things. Well, that's just a matter of speaking. But the reality is you are deceiving your own heart. You're telling yourself, well, this is the way I speak. And so when you need power to release power by faith, right? When you need to, right there, flip the switch on, now you're trying to believe for it because you've learned to deceive your heart. You've not kept your heart with all vigilance. You've not been vigilant over the words that are coming out of your mouth, over the words that are coming into your ears. And this is why many people go around with self-esteem issues and all kinds of stuff, because they've heard so many words against who they are that intrinsically they feel they have no value. When in reality, your Heavenly Father values you. He knows you matter and He wants you. So I want to leave you with this one today. Your faith, when you have believed, just like salvation, you believed, you received it, and you spoke it. Right? Romans 10:17. You had to speak it out of your mouth. In the same way, anything else, you want to receive healing, you believe it's yours. Mark 11:23, right? Then you speak. But what are you speaking to? You speak to the mountain. Mark 11:23, Jesus says, speak to any mountain, and it will have to move when you have no doubt in your heart. And of course, He even spoke about mustard seed faith, in the sense that not only you don't need a ton of faith, right? But the fact is you need faith that is pure. And that's what differentiates the mustard seed from other seeds. It's the smallest, yet it's the purest. Nobody can really, you can't mix it with anything else. So this is really important for you to understand. It's about having a pure faith, which means no doubt, which means no unbelief. Because we walk around with so much unbelief and so much doubt. And we get bombarded by it. And we're paying Netflix and all these guys to bombard us with even more of it. Now, nothing wrong if you're watching those things, but make sure you're watching things that are absolutely of good report, right? Things that actually edify you, not things that keep negating your faith and therefore building unbelief against your faith. So it's Pierre Laguerre. If you're watching now on YouTube, go ahead, leave me a comment. Let me know how this is resonating for you. And certainly I'm looking forward to a conversation as always. And this is episode number 44. Tomorrow I'm bringing you episode number 45. And if there are some other topics you're interested in, please go ahead, comment, let me know, suggest, and we will catch up. Enjoy.